Today we're smoking a whole chicken. We're keeping this one super simple. We're not spatchcocking, we're not injecting. Seasoning with salt, pepper, Lowry's, and throwing on the smoker for a couple hours. Here's how I do it.
Pat the chicken dry on all sides using paper towels. Whether it's coming out of the brine or coming right out of the packaging, it's important to get that skin as dry as possible. Depending on what the bird looks like, you might have to trim up a little bit of fat at the backside of the cavity. And then we're going to season. Again, I'm using salt, pepper, Lowry's, keeping it very simple, and I'm going to let the smoke and the chicken speak for itself. Optional here, but I tie up the wings using a little bit of butcher's twine. It just makes it look a little bit nicer. And then I'm going to tuck the wings underneath the body of the chicken. Season evenly on all sides. Get every nook and cranny if you can, and transfer over to a wired rack. This bird is looking good. There's no bald spots. Seasoned pretty well, and we're ready to get on the smoker.
I decided to brine this thing. You don't have to brine it, but if you do brine it overnight, you're going to get a juicier product. This is something you could do on a weeknight, barbecue on any day of the week. It's that simple, only takes a couple hours.
The first step of the cook, the first hour, is all about maximizing the smoke that gets on the bird.
You could throw the chicken right on the smoker. I'm using a wire rack today. It makes it easier to move the chicken, and I do plan on moving it. I'm going to start it far away from the firebox to start, and then to crisp up the skin and get that nice crispy skin, I'm going to move the entire wire rack closer to the firebox towards the end of the cook. One hour into this cook, we'll see how we're looking. Smoker's been at a steady 250 pretty much the entire time.
We're looking good. We're getting some nice color. The rub is set. The skin is starting to dry out. So on to step 2.
So I'm bumping this up closer to the firebox where the temps are a lot hotter on the smoker. This will help the skin crisp up, and this chicken should be done probably 30, 45 minutes. This is a piece of applewood. I'm gonna throw this applewood on here too, towards the end of the cook. Applewood goes great with chicken. We are at the 2-hour mark here. See, the skin is getting nice and crispy. Just gonna check the internal temp of the breast here quick. So about 150. So now's the time I'm gonna baste with some of the melted butter that I just put in up there. And look how juicy. I hate to lose those juices.
I'm using a brush, dipping it in melted butter, and just letting the butter drip right off of the brush and onto the chicken skin.
Done basting, and we are gonna close up to let this finish off. 2 hours and 15 minutes into this cook. We just let the last 15 minutes of this cook ride with a little bit of melted butter on top of the chicken skin. And I'm thinking it's done, and it's going to look nice and crispy now. Take a look. So the breast is temping at 162.9 internal. During the rest, which I'm going to rest this for about 15 minutes, this is going to get up to 165. So I always pull my breast right around 163. You can see this came out really, really good.
I've never been great at carving whole chickens or turkeys, but I've learned a thing or two through trial and error. I usually pop the drumsticks off first, just cut down away from the bird, and then feel for the tendon and pop it out. And I'm liking the juices that are coming out of the stark meat already. Next thing I do is I remove the entire breasts. I come in along the breastbone and cut straight down until you can't go any further. Big mistake that people make, and I was guilty of this as well, is they come in along the side and they just slice the breast right off of the whole bird. When you do that, you pretty much get one slice with the majority of the skin from the breast, which is some of the best part. So it's best to remove the entire breast and then slice it horizontally so you get every piece with some skin on there. I was happy with how this chicken came out. It came out nice and juicy on the inside, perfectly cooked. The skin came out crispy and peppery, very delicious. The whole family loved it. And this had a nice mild smoke flavor. With a quick 2-hour cook, you're not going to be blown away by the smoke flavor. You're not going to get insane smoke rings with such a short cook time, regardless of what kind of smoker you're cooking on. The end result is some delicious smoked chicken that beats the hell out of whatever you're going to cook inside. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're new to the page, I am brand new to YouTube, and every subscription, every like, every follow counts and is greatly appreciated.